Hey, it's Timmy Gibson here with you to talk about allowing yourself time to heal. Um, I've recently gone through probably the most difficult thing I've ever gone through in my life last year. And even before that, I would say in the last 5 to 6 years, I've gone through some really um, just difficult times, losing my sister, losing my grandpa, and just other things. And one thing that I've become increasingly aware of is the importance of allowing yourself time and space to heal. Um, I mean, I've seen this before. People will go through a divorce and then they jump right into another serious relationship. And typically, statistically, that relationship fails miserably, maybe even worse than their first one, because their heart was not ready to be in any kind of a committed relationship. So, having gone through that recently myself, I realize when your heart is in a place of hurt or pain, grief, suffering, whatever, allowing yourself space to heal. I used to say, or I've heard it said, that when you go through a divorce, you should allow 1 month for every year you were married before you date again. And I don't really agree with that advice, though I've given that advice, but I don't agree with it now, having now going through it myself and actually living this particular life. But here's what I do think is important. So listen to me real close. So I have at least a little bit of a better understanding of that. So I think when people say that, I don't know what they mean, but when I say it now, I say, okay, you need to allow yourself time to heal. So if you've gone through a divorce, you need to allow yourself time to heal before you begin dating again. But depending on what level of dating you're in other words, if you just got out of a long term relationship and went through a divorce, I would say, yes, you should not get into any kind of a serious relationship anytime soon. I mean, to each his own, you do you, boo. But I don't think that'd be healthy. I think, yes, can you date casually? Can you go out? Can you be social? Can you date? Well, yes, I think you can. As long as the divorce is final, there's nothing wrong. I think there should be some space of time that you actually seek counseling and that you don't do that. Whether that's 3 months, 1 month, whatever. I think there needs to be some span of time where you don't just go from one person to the next person. I think there needs to be some space in there where you just do you, especially if you were in a long-term committed relationship. You know, obviously, the longer that relationship went, I think does have an impact on how long you should allow yourself time to heal. So yes, my coffee was way over here. So, but to put a hard line time frame on that, like the 1 month per year, I don't. I know I've said that before. I mean, I'm going back on what I said, not just because I'm in that particular situation, but because I have a greater understanding of it now. And what that means is, like for me personally, my heart is still in a mended, it's being mended. It's definitely was broken and shattered or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going through that mending process. And in fact, I mean, even reverse this back, several years ago, I think my heart was in a really bad place after losing my sister and then my grandpa, and I never really allowed myself time to heal from those wounds, which then led me to make poor decisions in 2018, which is what has led me to where I'm at today. So anyway, I don't have any hard fast rule, or I don't subscribe to any kind of hard fast rule. But here's what I subscribe to as a hard fast rule. That is, if you have lost a loved one or have gone through a divorce, you need to take time to heal. You need to take time for yourself. Now, here's the deal: loneliness is painful, and it's lonely, and it's difficult. Um, it's one of the most difficult things I've ever gone through in my life. Going from, yeah, oh my Lord, yeah, just going from, yeah, loneliness is really, really, really painful. But it's also very refining. It's like gold, right? You put it in fire and you refine it, and the impurities come to the top, and you brush those off, and then you get the pure gold or whatever. I think that's what loneliness does to you, if you'll allow it. If you'll allow it, I think divorce, death, grief, all that stuff, loneliness even, you have the opportunity to grow better as a result of it, or bitter. I mean, I still, I've taught that for years and years and years, and I'm unchanging on the fact that to grow better is better than to grow bitter. Bitterness it's a poison. It is a poison. So, just do everything you can not to allow yourself to grow bitter, for sure, which is why I think it's so important to give yourself space to heal. I think in allowing yourself space to heal, it gives you the best opportunity to grow better rather than bitter. And depending on your situation and how your situation ended and how all that went, I can I can I can assume that it can be more challenging to not grow bitter, right? I mean, if someone really hurt you or wronged you, or if they falsely speak of you, or they continuing to try to hurt you, if they're evil, or I mean, there's a lot of different um, extreme situations, right? If it was an abusive relationship and they were verbally abusive or physically abusive, or I mean, you get into the extreme situations, and I personally think that even necessitates more time needed to heal. Um, but if it wasn't as um, maybe as toxic like that, or extreme toxicity, um, I think that there still needs to be space and time allowed to heal, so that you can make better decisions in your next relationship. As well as, I just saw on Facebook, just the other day, there's a couple. Actually, I know these people, and they got divorced, and I think they were divorced. Ah, and she'll probably watch this, and she can comment or correct me on what I'm saying here, because she'll know I'm talking about them. I want to say they've been divorced for 5 years. Maybe it's less. Anyway, they got divorced. I don't think it was a very amicable divorce. I think it was actually kind of a nasty divorce. Anyway, and after space and time, him healing and growing, and space and time, and her healing and growing, um, they've now reconnected and have gotten back together. And I think they're going to get married again. And I mean, it's just beautiful. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful story. They don't all work out like that. I mean, definitely they don't all work out like that. But my nose is running. Um, but I think that's cool. I mean, I think that's cool for those that if that works out, then I think it's a beautiful story. It's not the only beautiful story that's ever out there. I mean, a lot of different kind of beautiful versions of stories. So I'm not trying to put any kind of hope in you of that situation. Maybe that's not going to be your journey. Who knows? We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know the future. But I think here's what we do know. What you do know is you, and you do know is your life. And so don't do things to your life to sabotage your own healing and your own growth. That's what I'm getting at here. When I talk about time to heal, you owe it to yourself. Give yourself time to heal. Don't rush off into another relationship. Don't rush off into making these bad big decisions. After you just went through a a loss, a family loss, a relationship loss, a death, or whatever. Give yourself space to heal and do only what your heart can handle. For me personally, what my heart can handle is dating casually and nothing hardcore serious. Like that's where my heart is right now. Yeah. So, um, so for you, I don't know your story, but where's your heart? Is your heart available to be, committed to one other person now? Well, I mean, I don't know. Only you can answer that. Have you done the me time? Have you taken time to heal? Have you taken time to, you know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, are you ready for that? I think, honestly, relationships and life in general, are you ready? Are you emotionally ready for a deep, monogamous, committed relationship? If you are, great. Go for it. Live it up. But are you not? So I think some people, they're not honest with themselves. And there's a lot of reasons why I think that happens. We're not honest with ourselves, or we're not honest with others because we maybe met someone we kind of like and they want a serious relationship. So then we fraudulently say, well, I'm ready for a relationship too, which is deceitful. If you're not ready for a relationship, to say that you are when you're not because you really like this person, you don't want to lose this person, I think you do a great disservice to them and you. Honesty is the best policy. It's taken me a long time to learn this. I wish it wouldn't have taken me this long, but regardless, I'm learning it now. Honesty is the best policy. It's always the best policy. I don't care. Don't try to save your own ass by not telling the truth. Honesty is the best. It's the most, matter of fact, vulnerability requires honesty. You must be honest in order to be and live vulnerable. And vulnerability is what leads to healthy, life-giving, deep, wonderful relationships. And so it's absolutely critical and necessary. All right. So that's my thoughts on time to heal. No matter what you've gone through in life, be honest with yourself. Don't allow yourself to be motivated by loneliness, motivated by fear, motivated. That's, again, we all have emotions, right? We all have anger. We all have, hate or whatever. Like all of us, we have all the emotions, all of them. As humans, we experience all of those. What I think is important is to not allow the negative emotions to dictate or control your life, right? We all experience fear. We all experience anxiety. We all experience pain. We all experience whatever. Allow positive emotions to motivate you, not negative emotions, right? Fear of leaving the house. Well, don't give into that. Leave the house. Allow ourselves to be dictated by the positive, not the negative. Be motivated by love. Be motivated by courage. Be motivated by the positive stuff, not the negative stuff. And so when you have the opportunity to move in the place and to go in the way of love, or to grow or go in the way of hate or bitterness, or don't do this. Do this. And I think it's the same, again, going back to that time to heal, which is what this video is all about. Allow yourself space and time to heal, even though it's uncomfortable. I think busying ourselves, or, if you're coming out of a relationship, you jump into another relationship. Why? Because you don't want to deal. That's why. You don't want to deal with that uncomfortable feeling. You don't want to deal with the pain of looking in the mirror. Essentially, it's like You need that time to look in the mirror, to do your own to do surgery on yourself. You gotta, or if you believe in God, allow God to work on your heart. Allow whatever, like giving God, giving the universe, giving yourself time and space to heal, to go inward, and to ask, who am I? What do I want? What am I looking for? What's a good fit for me? What do I want? Where do I want to go? Like really allowing space for that and time for that is critically important. I guess I've been around this long enough, and I hope I never have to eat these words or regret what I'm saying, or not regret it, but eat these words, meaning I'm saying this is important and then I go do the opposite. I've done that before in my life. Yeah, like if yeah, if you yeah. Anyway, so we've all seen those people that have get out of a some kind of a long-term relationship, and then within a month they're getting married to someone else. There's always those exceptions to the rule. There are those weird, rare occasions where we know someone that actually worked for, but the statistics would tell you it ain't going to work. Why? Because you did not allow yourself time and space to heal. So, again, if you're going through a tough time, turn into it, dig deep, learn, grow, understand yourself. What is it? Socrates says, know thyself. That's the most important thing for your life to be the best and for you to be happy and healthy and whole. It's to know yourself. All right, guys, peace.